Thank you.
Um, Guys, I think everyone who hangs out with me should be familiar with Julie now. And Julie, guess this is what our third or fourth month getting
Hmm.
together.
Yeah, I think so. That feels right.
And hopefully, in a few weeks ago, uh, we'll be joined by our friend Diona sometime.
Oh, that would be great. I know she's still recovering, but yeah, that would be wonderful to do that again.
Um, so, what you and I were talking about doing is unpacking the first 20 lessons,
Yeah.
maybe giving a peek, without giving anything away, maybe giving a peek into some upcoming lessons. I,
Yeah.
I find, hey, Hamada, I find that getting, I used to say the first 50, but now I'm thinking the first 10 might be the hardest to get through.
I don't know. I I I dove into the course so headlong. I never had a problem with it. So I
Um,
have trouble relating to not liking the lessons, but
right,
I certainly understand because I'm very familiar with the daily experience of my ego fighting things,
sure.
just during my day. So I get that. When it comes to the lessons, I'm just like, oh, what a relief. Finally, I've been searching for this for lifetimes. Here it is.
When I've talked about my own struggles in the early lessons,
Mhm.
ongoing for a while, and not overly frustrated, but frustrated enough where I'd put the book aside for a little bit. Um, and we've all heard stories of people throwing it across the room, um, or
Yeah.
throwing it away. The reason why the course is a perennial bestseller is because it's one person who keeps throwing it away and then buying another copy and then throwing it away.
I love it. It kind of is.
It is kind of, um, and someone asked me once, "Do you think my struggle was because I wasn't ready for it?" And thinking about it, it's actually the opposite. I was ready, and my ego knew that I was ready. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
so there was a bit of a backlash because even just a slight switch of realizing that we have an alternative to the ego choices we've been making
Hmm.
can cause quite a bit of a struggle, of a fight, I think, for some.
Yeah.
Um, so let me bring up the first 20. Do you want to start with number one?
Sure. And I'll share the reflection. I think I had been doing the work of Byron Katie for years before that.
Right.
So I had been examining all the thoughts that didn't feel good already. So maybe that's what made the difference. I'd already kind of broken myself to that practice,
Um,
but to have it put in different words was really cool.
you know what? That sort of brings up a point for me. Because I had been practicing yoga for quite some time.
Hmm.
I had done lessons with the Self Realization Fellowship. They had their mail order lessons back in the 80s and 90s. Um, I had built a spiritual ego
Hmm.
that was very proud of what they were doing. And having a thought system challenge that identification as a very spiritual, as a very uh,
Oh, yeah.
yogi, uh, meditation and all that sort of. Um, that was where the conflict, I think, started coming in.
Hmm.
I knew the answers, and I didn't want to see that actually the answers that I was holding on to weren't really the answers. They were my spiritual ego's answer. I think that might be
I
the
think
hardest thing.
I'm
Good.
thinking the fighting could be a good sign because isn't it your false identity melting away?
It's a
And
good
when the
point.
ego senses, wait, I'm disappearing, it fights.
Right. Agree. Agreed. Um, so, guys, feel free to ask any questions. Uh, we're going through the workbook, first 20 lessons, and we'll see what comes up. By the way, you're doing a beautiful presentation with the lessons,
Oh, thank you. Are
and
you
I hope
doing the lessons too? Because I thought I saw a thumbnail and it had a lesson number, and I was wondering, are you doing the lessons day by day?
on live stream.
Oh, cool. I love that.
So, yep, some people are following along. Some people following along kind of, hey, Danny, a little loosely. Some people are just course curious.
Hmm.
Some people are there to say, you're so full of it. Um, so whatever comes up. Hey, Adam.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Ellie. Hey, Sniper. As I was saying, feel free to ask any questions on workbook lessons, on maybe because I put a new year as well. Uh, there is something auspicious about a new year and a new beginning
Hmm.
and the course starting day one on a new year. Um,
Yeah.
so maybe we can help people channel that energy. It's so fresh in the year. It's never too late to start the course. It's never too early to start the course either. So whenever is always the right time.
Yeah. And the first part of the lessons is not about accumulating new things, it's about getting stuff swept out of your system, kind of,
Right.
and
I
making
agree.
room for the beautiful things that are, well, they're already there. They're just, we're going to clear the dust away and show you what's already there.
Uh, and I think that's where some people have trouble is the those first lessons of seeming taking things away, things that we've been
Hmm.
holding on to, things, thoughts that we've been clinging to. Um,
Hmm.
and the course, literally, at the very beginning, nothing I see in this room, on this street, window, in this place means anything. What a confrontation right off the bat. Didn't even give
Yeah.
me any room to like ease my way in.
Hello. Oh, there's Big Al.
Hey, Big
I
Al.
can see the comments this time.
I see Big Al over on your place.
Yeah, he's been visiting. So hi again.
Big Al's a he's a good guy. Big Al's a good guy.
Definitely.
You're gonna hear stories and rumors otherwise in this chat. Don't don't believe a single one of them. He's a good guy. And if you hear that I'm the one who started these rumors and stories, that's probably true. Um,
All right.
so
Honesty.
honestly,
It says
um,
the body doesn't mean anything. That was kind of tough for me. Yeah. It's in blue. I'm having trouble seeing what the name is, but I
that
saw the
was
comment.
Diogenes dog, our friend Adam.
Oh, okay. Hi, Adam.
Uh,
To me, I mean, it's eventually liberating, but when we're used to placing meaning and value in the body we call us and the body we call all the bodies we call other, yeah, that's weird. But then when we realize, oh my gosh, we're free, we're released, we're one beautiful, innocent, worthy being together, then there's the big relief.
right. Um, and of course, it doesn't mean that we're not taking care of the body or honoring the body or honoring other people's bodies. Um,
Hmm.
but ultimately, it's saying that literally, we're not limited to
Yeah.
a body. As the body goes, we remain who we truly are. We
And
remain
the body's now a communication tool for love.
right.
And we can give very specific instructions about what we're supposed to do with it. And it gets easier to hear them the more we practice.
So if we eventually see the body as a communication tool for love beforehand, what do you consider the body to be?
Before we see it, I guess we kind of like a missile, or so like I see this missile trying to get to its target. You use it to try to get, and you use it to try to avoid. I can use the body to withdraw, and I can use the body to go after and get something that I think I need. But really, my being is joined with everybody. There's no one to withdraw from, there's no one to chase after. So then what do you do? Whatever spirit tells you to do without knowing why. And it always works out.
Um, I like that. So, um, nothing I see in this room means anything. Why doesn't it mean anything,
Mhm.
Julie?
Because I'm I'm trying to use it to block God. So I'm trying to use everything in this room to invest especially positive or especially negative meaning in some tiny little way. Trying to find my safety in idols and separate things in the world. But all the meaning I've tried to invest in this place, it's a meaningless place. It's the place I made up to block what I am really, what you are, what everything is really. So it's kind of like a mask. And I'm trying to put all this meaning in the mask, but the light's behind the mask. So by at first approaching the mask and saying, look, this thing I'm using to block the light, it doesn't have any meaning. It can't help me. It can't hurt me. But what all the things in this room really are, as they truly are, they're beautiful, they're blessed. So it's not like everything's nothing. There's something very beautiful here.
So, what we're asked to do is um, right off the bat, we're reframing
Hmm.
how we see something. Not, um, I like that thought of reframing how we see something because we see something solely through the lens of the ego.
Hmm.
And the ego is always going to see things um, as is this good? Is this bad? Can I use it to get something? Can I use it to keep someone else from getting something? Um, it's always going to be compare and contrast. That uh, right off the bat, we're beginning to reframe how we think. First, by saying that what I think means something, the meaning that I think this has is not real.
Hmm.
It can't be real because if we're thinking of it in terms of the ego, and if the ego doesn't truly exist, then all the thoughts that we have about a thing um, just aren't true.
Yeah, and the course doesn't try to convince you. It just asks you to sit a few times a day and consider the idea. It says you don't have to believe it. No, so no one's trying to convince an ego. It doesn't matter if our ego believes any of this or not. But if we're our true self, we're not our ego. So if we sit with this reminder of who we are, this world I built as a defense doesn't mean anything, but everything that's meaningful to me is beyond that and present right now, then we kind of start to remember who we are.
Um, but that was a really important thing that you said that we're not trying to convince the ego
Yeah.
because at the beginning of the course, we're trying to understand it with the ego. Um, but zero chance that the ego will ever understand it. Of course, the ego
Hmm.
might give the posture of, "Oh, of course I understand that." Um,
Yeah.
hey, Lady Sky. Um, so that was lesson one. Lesson two sort of starts to explain things, doesn't it? That
Yeah.
um, the reason why nothing I see means anything is because I have given everything I see in this room um, all the meaning that it has for me.
Yeah. I've built a defense, I've built a fort, and I'm going to be safe in this fort. And all my stuff in this fort has meaning.
So when the course says, "I have given," um, what's the I that the course is referring to?
Well, in this case, it would be the ego, the false I that I made to tell me up and down, left and right things about separation and to give opposite and competitive meanings and values to things. So I made it. It's like a little thought generator, and it sends me thoughts. And then on that basis, I believe I'm separate, and I believe everything else is separate.
Thank you. You ready for a question?
Sure.
Our friend Mustafa says, many people read the book but find it difficult to apply it when angry or afraid. How can we translate the course's teachings from a theoretical understanding to a lived experience in moments of crisis?
I got such a fun answer just now. So many people have read and internalized and worked on this course, and I love it. I still read it, I still do the lessons, but a lot of us are sharing telepathically how to do this. We're in our one mind, we're engaged, we're sharing, we want to see everyone's innocence. And so I almost feel like just your willingness to be able to accept miracles in your life and to change the way you see things. In our one mind, there's so much willingness here already. There's so much to be shared that whether that simple willingness to have everything be turned around for you comes to the course or not doesn't matter. Just have the willingness to see everything differently.
Um, and practice. You got 365 lessons.
Yeah,
Um, and
it's very specific.
everyone is a practice. Uh, and just like playing the piano, you don't read a book about playing the piano and then think, all right, let me sit down at the keyboards and knock off some Mozart, some
Yeah.
Beethoven. Um, you practice every day and you make mistakes. I love how Kenneth Wapnick would always say, uh, you know, you're either choosing the ego or you're choosing the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
It's okay to choose the ego. Just know that you chose the ego, because that's a big revelation. Just knowing,
Hmm.
you know, I chose a teacher that did not bring me what I wanted. It taught
Yeah.
me a lesson that I don't need to learn. I've had for me, you know, I've had 60 years of learning the lesson of the ego, um, and still learning the lesson of the ego because I still choose the wrong
Me
teacher.
too.
But
Yeah.
more so than ever now, I see without even a choice. I was about to say I see those options more so than ever. I'm massively sliding into responding from the Holy Spirit. Not all the
Yeah.
time, uh, but enough time that I catch myself smiling. That it just
Yeah.
I never would have thought it would be this easy 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Practice makes it effortless, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
beautifully said. Mustafa has another question. What is the fundamental difference between forgiveness as we understand it in our daily lives and forgiveness as defined by you mean the course? How does the latter free us from the constraints of time?
Okay. So, forgiveness in the traditional sense would mean that somebody has done something wrong. But forgiveness, according to the Course, means that I have perceived wrongdoing, but I'm mistaken. And actually, I see what I believe, and I believe it because I wanted to see it. So everything competitive and chaotic and going wrong in this world, I want to see. And that can be a tough one. It can take you years or decades to get to that point where you're like, oh, I want to see this chaos, but I have a choice to have all of it cleaned up. And that's forgiveness. I have done this thing, and it is this I would undo. And I'll allow all the miracles to come in. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I'm willing to allow the cleanup of what has never been done. This is an illusion. So it's the illusion that gets cleaned up. And when all that's left to see is a reassuring illusion that shows me very clearly how loved everyone is, there's nothing left to do. Then we're done.
Beautiful description of forgiveness. Um, in both in both ways, the traditional way that we've always practiced, and in the truly revolutionary way that A Course in Miracles offers. Um, let's see, our friend Squirrel Sniper says, Julie, is a miracle just the rebalancing itself repairs finances once we return to a point of rest where we are still, where the world spins in chaos. Is that the center?
I would I want to bring up a sentence from A Course in Miracles that says, "You don't understand the miracle." And I love it because every time I come across it, I'm thinking, I've been reading this book for years, but pinning the miracle down, it seems very elusive. You could think of miracle in the sense of some grand thing that seems to have shifted. And yeah, it can happen like that. You can think of a miracle in terms of a solution seeming to come suddenly, very clearly into your life or somebody else's life. Yeah, it can happen like that. But a miracle has no observable effects sometimes, too. You just sensed a need and you reached out in some way, and somehow that need was met. And so I think my definition of miracle keeps shifting. And what it is right now is you just learn to rest. You learn to rest and you learn to be happy about what everything and everyone really is under the costumes. And then you learn to allow everything to proceed from there.
I like that. You know, we could truly say that asking for the miracle is a miracle, and it gives us, what's the line, that infinite patience
Yeah,
produces immediate results. We know,
right.
we know that asking for the miracle, that we have placed things in the hands of the Holy Spirit, um, and that our work, our job, is done. All we got to do now is patiently await what has with the Holy Spirit working without the constraints of time, it's immediate. But because we are still in the midst of experiencing time, uh, we won't maybe immediately um, see or feel, as you mentioned, the effects. But we
Hmm.
know that just having that little willingness that you talked about has already made that miracle happen.
Right. Yeah, the miracles, I'm trying to remember what it says. They wait for us. So even if we're at the point where we can't accept them, it's like they all get stored up for us. And when we're ready to accept them, then they become apparent, they become obvious. You can see them and experience them.
Um, let's see. Questions for Julie. Keep rolling in.
All right.
Um, Mustafa says, can a person live a normal life, work, family, ambition, while fully aware that their body is not their true identity? How can we balance earthly obligations with spiritual awareness? It's a good question for a mom.
Yeah. Moment by moment. Um, to me, it all comes down to feeling and to learning that, sure, all these other functions are going on in my life. I have 4 kids, I have a husband. Um, but when I don't feel good, the priority is to stop and reorient toward what is real. And then it's not about finding the right parenting philosophy or approach to education or approach to relationships. It's not about any of that. It's just about being carried through the experience of time and space, however it appears, and allowing all of it to be used to remind all of us that we're innocent, we're worthy, we're holy, we're eternal, and that there's very specific and loving guidance here for all of us. And so it doesn't matter what I'm doing or where I am or who I am, that can apply.
I like that. Um, and I love going back to Kenneth Wapnick, um,
Mhm.
how he would say very simply, just be normal. Um, that uh, when a kid needs to be taken care of, we take care of the kid. All the while, though, we can be consulting with the Holy Spirit. Um,
Hmm.
but as how it looks in the outer world, it looks like it looks for everyone else, uh, except as the course said, um, we smile more,
Yeah.
and that to me, that's the difference. There's an easy and gentle laughter that comes to mind. Um, we don't hold on to things. You know, things still happen, uh, but you take care of them the same way you would if you never picked up the course. Uh, but it's
Mhm.
the inner condition that has been cultivated through the practice. I think that makes the big difference.
Mhm. And don't be afraid when you find rage, because when you quoted Ken and said just be normal, that was one of my stumbling blocks. I hated hearing that, and it took me years to work with it, and it's still a trigger for me sometimes, not most of the time now, but because I would see somebody telling somebody to be normal in the context of somebody's judging somebody else. Somebody's trying to influence them or push them. Don't push me around. But now, today, for me, it's more like if if the guidance of spirit comes in and I, being obedient to ego, am saying, don't push me around. It looks more like that now. And
Right.
so whatever me is left to resist being pushed at least is exposed. It's exposed.
And you mentioned that earlier. That when we were talking about struggle with some of the early lessons, that to realize that there's a struggle, to have it exposed, is a
Hmm.
big thing because at least now it's out there in the open and you can do
Yeah,
something with it. I'd rather be exposed quickly and fully than hidden for years and then have it come up and surprise me.
right.
Because I've had both happen, um,
Yeah, of course.
and both can be painful. Uh, but I'd rather deal with the present pain
Hmm.
and heal it than uh, have the present pain and shove it aside and kick it down the road and have it come back
Yeah.
time after time after time at inopportune moments where it just causes more
Right.
damage in my life.
Hmm.
Um, this is a good question coming up that uh, I'd like to know the answer for you for sure. In moments of psychological darkness or doubt, what phrase or idea from the Course immediately brings you back to peace?
I could see peace instead of this. How about for you?
Um, lately, it has been lesson 25. I don't know what anything is for.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
Um, because if I recognize, I don't know why this is happening, I don't know what this is for, um,
Hmm.
then it gives me a little bit of space to maneuver. I don't have to assume that I know this is for and it's going to be bad. Um, because a lot of truly wonderful things have come from the worst moments of my life. I think about my last day ever drinking was not a pleasant day at all. Um, but and had I, you know, made the assumptions that this is the worst things that's ever happened to me, um, it truly would have carried over into a longer struggle. But
Hmm.
at that point, I had been practicing the course, and I knew that I hadn't. Going back to your lesson, there was another way of seeing this, and that I
Yes.
didn't know what all this was for, but I knew that it wasn't the end of the story. So I like both of ours. I like yours, and I like
Yeah.
mine. There's, there's no
That's the
at
thing about the lessons.
right, and there's no at this point. As long as we've both been practicing, there's no wrong phrase or lesson that can come to mind. All of them seem so
Hmm.
opportune when they do
Yeah.
spring forth, and don't even feel like I need to reach for it. Um, I think
Mm-mm.
the right lesson just shows up and brings me that peace of mind. Hi, Tom. Um, all right, I think that is the questions for now. But guys, feel free to keep asking. It's a good string of questions we had.
Yeah. Thank you for those.
Uh,
What are we on lesson three?
we are on lesson three.
I do not understand anything I see in this room. So going from it doesn't mean anything to I don't understand it, which is great because the ego stories are long and they have a lot of thoughts. But when you as an ego don't understand, then it provides a whole lot more room for stopping and listening.
Um, I mentioned to I pop into a um, Facebook chat where they're doing the course together, and I'll
Hmm.
pop in and just participate and say hi and everything. And I had mentioned to them the other day how much I appreciate the subtlety of how the course builds in these lessons. That
Yeah.
and sometimes we miss that. That I've given everything that I see all the meaning, and then just in a very subtle way, um, as you mentioned, that we go to I don't understand anything that I see, um,
Hmm.
and how if we commit to this practice, we're slowly altering um, the neurological function in the brain. We're slowly altering it towards a way of realizing that we have, we truly have a choice that we didn't realize that we had before. Uh,
Yeah.
we assume that I do understand everything, and we assume that that a pen is a pen is a pen. What meaning beyond a pen? Um, but the course just keeps building, which leads us to number four.
Oh
Where are we
yeah.
going
Number
with
four.
this?
These thoughts do not mean anything. They're like the things I see in this room. Another thing when the ego's on a tear and it's giving you seven thoughts in a row, and then you can stop and say, these thoughts do not mean anything. I wonder what does mean something.
Um, that's an important thing to consider too. The course is infinitely practical.
Hmm.
Um, especially when you consider some of us literally have been tormented by our thoughts before. Thoughts
Yeah.
about ourselves, thoughts about other people, thoughts about the conditions that we find ourselves in, thoughts about the
Hmm.
government, thoughts about opposing political parties, thoughts about other countries, thoughts about everything, and it can torment us. But lesson four: these thoughts do not mean anything. And of course, we'll get there eventually. We'll find out why those thoughts don't mean anything. Um, Before we go to the next one, we have a question from our friend Adam. Do you ever still get off? Um, and does it drive you nuts to find that you're a center of peace or whatever? I mean, so do you ever go off? And does it drive you nuts in in finding that you're center of peace or whatever? I mean, like a sense of the imperative.
You mean go off like have an outburst?
I think yes.
I don't think I do verbally, but in my mind every day without fail. More than once. Not I wouldn't say like a rageful tirade, but regularly throughout the day I have to reorient towards sanity because there I still hear the insane voice rattling on.
Me too. Um,
Yeah.
and but it is a little quieter. It's a little less insistent,
Yeah.
and there's um, whether I shift into it or not. there is a viable option to that. Sometimes I still might
Mhm.
want to sit and still in my own little self-created, uh, you know, uh, going off on an event or someone or something. Um,
Mhm.
I might, um, you know, watch. I don't watch the news that often, but I might skim the headlines in the morning to make sure everything is still intact. Um, and something might set off a little trigger, and I might sit in it for a little bit before it just drifts away.
Mhm. One of I might have mentioned this before, but one of my greatest teachers was Fox News because I was in a place where it was on a lot and it didn't seem to be my choice. So it seemed like I have to listen to what I don't want to listen to. And it was wonderful. It was such a portal toward being instructed in how to look at the being, sit with the being, see the worthiness, and that all the especially positive and especially negative and competitive judgments are meaningless. It was a great teacher.
Um, One of my great course teachers has a completely opposite um, political view than I do,
Hmm.
and it has never ever come up in conversation. Um, it just when I'm with this person, it just does not seem to matter that on a different issue, uh, they think entirely different than I do. Um, because the depth of the love that they offer everything and everyone is just so great that when you're with this person, that's all there is. Um, and I I think that you know a lot of things with the course goes with what you mentioned earlier, just having a little willingness to sit with something.
Hmm.
Had you not had that willingness to sit with Fox News, um, you would have been left in a bit of a, you would have been stewing the entire time. Uh, but having a little willingness to anything, a little willingness to be patient, a little willingness to hand this over to the Holy Spirit, a little willingness to um, think that these thoughts that I'm having about Fox News don't mean anything. Um,
Yeah, I
we
do
had
not understand anything I see when I
right,
watch it.
um, and even further, we had Corinne Zupko on maybe
Hmm.
2 months now, 2 months ago, and she wrote in her book From Anxiety to Love. Um, and if you can't manage a little willingness, can you have a willingness for a little willingness? Um,
Oh, I like that.
yeah. Sometimes we just need a little bit of a crack to let
Yeah,
something more
right.
loving show itself.
Hmm.
So that was lesson 4, right?
Yeah, yeah. Now we're to I am never upset for the reason I think.
This is big. Um, I think lesson 5 is another one that you could carry with you. Um,
Yeah.
and it would make a huge difference no matter it applies to what you and I were just now talking about. I'm not upset
Hmm.
that this person has a different political view. I'm not upset that
Hmm.
Fox News is playing on the television. I'm not upset at anything, not for the reason that I think I am.
Hmm. Yeah, there's
And
a
of course,
cause and effect. You believe a thought from the ego, you're upset. There you go.
yeah. Um, let's move on to the next question, and then we'll move on to the next lesson. Um, Actually, you know what? Let's reverse that order, only because um, I like how the very next lesson, and then we'll get back to the question. The very
Hmm.
next lesson addresses why I'm never upset for the reason that I think I
Oh, yeah. I love that one. I'm upset because I see something that is not there.
am. Again, it's almost like we have a magic eraser that um, we see that we're upset, and now we're starting to erase all the imagined reasons of why we're upset. um,
Yeah.
and it keeps unfolding. It keeps unfolding in the next few lessons. But we'll do with the question next. Is the Holy Spirit essentially a phasonic light that reveals the ground truth by removing the interference of our own projections? Did the, does the truth need to be found or just uncovered?
Yeah, I say uncovered, and Holy Spirit is, if you've seen Moana, it's kind of like the ocean in Moana. It's your all-purpose everything. So once you've decided to turn your dream over to the healing of all minds, Holy Spirit takes the form of anything you might need in the dream. It it's so flexible, and it cleans everything up. I'm having trouble finding a metaphor here, but it's the truth. And as we're still dreaming, it takes form to assist us through and out of the untruth.
Um, well, I'm glad Squirrel Snapper asked the question about Holy Spirit. Thank you for your answer. And also, it gives an opportunity that some people think when we're saying the Holy Spirit that we are talking about something, some magical force that lies outside of us that we're petitioning to. Uh, that it's just another, another way of saying, that I'm petitioning Jesus for a miracle, or I'm petitioning the Holy Spirit, some force
Hmm.
right outside. Could you offer just the Holy Spirit from the Course perspective?
Yeah. Um, well, I can tell you what jumped into my mind right now, and it's funny. It's like superhero team, meaning everyone's spirit. And everyone is covered up the unbelievable, beautiful, kind power of their true self. So in that sense, everyone and even everything is on the this amazingly powerful superhero team, right? So when you are in contact with Holy Spirit or you let Holy Spirit take over, it's like acknowledging the true power you've always shared with everyone and everything, and you just allow it to step forward and take over.
And it's not outside of us.
Right. It is us. It's our true self. Yeah.
Um, because I think that's a big question. A lot of people, especially people who come from a more traditional religious background, uh, they might think that when we're saying Holy Spirit, that we're doing it from a very religious point of view, um, instead of that the Holy Spirit. I think I might have mentioned to you last time we were on the little epiphany that I had. Um, I had misread for decades in chapter 5 when it says the Holy Spirit. I had read it. The Holy Spirit is the voice of God.
Hmm.
Um, but what it actually says, and I read it and it leapt out of me, and I don't know how I missed it for so long. The Holy Spirit is the voice for God.
Yeah.
And what a huge difference that makes because um, if the Holy Spirit resides in me, is literally the part of my mind that is the only real part of my mind, and it's connected to God. Being the voice for God means that I am literally, when I'm choosing the Holy Spirit, have become the voice for God. That I'm expressing love because
Hmm.
all God does is express love. Um, and if I think in terms of that I was the voice, that the Holy Spirit is the voice of God, it sort of implies a little bit of a separation, that it's outside of me. The voice of God is out there and I hear it.
Yeah.
But the voice for God just seems like this natural and easy extension of a loving presence, of a loving voice that flows through me, flows through you, and
Hmm.
as you said, flows through everyone.
Hmm. Somebody said I'm embarrassed to be Jewish. And I just wanted to say, hey, when you find embarrassment, that's a thumbs up. You found you found the problem, and then you can find the thought that you believe that's attached to that. Why would one be embarrassed? And then you get to set the thought down.
Right,
And then you get to reorient towards something like lesson 7. I see only the past. Who's Jewish right now?
right.
We see only the past.
Um, that's one of the most um, I'm going to use the term mystical statements, I think, in the early lessons of the course, that
Hmm.
especially the way you phrased it right there, if we see only the past, who am I right now? In this moment, who am I? Without the assumptions of the past, uh, who am I? It's like a, it's like a Katie Bryan question that um,
Hmm.
it leaves us right there in the present moment, nowhere to turn to, just um, the raw and real experience of being here now.
Yeah.
By the way, Adam said, thank you so much. And that as he continues to age, he finds his best teacher is himself, his silly self.
I like it.
Tom says, at this moment and forward, I am an instrument of God's loving mercy.
Hmm.
So if we are upset because we see something that's not there, what is it that we're seeing?
What I want to see. So I might think it serves my best interest to see chaos and competition and deficiency somewhere over there because somehow I'm mixed up. I think because I built this fort where I would be safe from God, where I could have bodies and death and competition and violence, I think I'm going to get in trouble for that. So I'm trying to protect myself and I'm trying to see the guilt over there. None of it makes any sense. But while I'm still seeing chaos and competition and violence over there, I still want to see that. And it is okay. It is 100% okay because miracles clean up 100% of everything. And we become miracle minded, miracle oriented in our thinking, and we start to just stay very aware of our thinking and trust the guidance that comes.
Beautiful. Adam said, I think there's a lot of truth that can be gained through lesson 5. It's okay to be upset.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Nowhere does the course tell you not to be upset.
Yeah. It's such a good moment when you realize I am feeling upset because that's the starting point. That's the healing.
Right. Um, the question is always, uh, I go back to the rules for decision in the text. Um, is this uh, is this the intent that I had earlier in the day when I set out my decision for the day? Um,
Hmm.
is this how I want to feel? If I'm upset,
Yeah.
is this how I want to feel?
I don't know if I have it here. I usually pick out a few words that describe how I want to feel during the day and I go back and look at them. I can't remember any of them right now, so let's find out what they were. But periodically through the day, I'll go back and so I decided today I want to feel blessing, acceptance, and wholeness. And I think the more I practice this, the more I see, oh, you just order it up. You do feel what you want to feel. And
Right.
like blessing, acceptance, and wholeness is aligned with what all of us actually are. So it's a very natural thing.
Um, I think in a future time you and I together, let's cover those
Mhm.
rules of decision.
Oh, yeah, those are great.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be great to
that's a
talk
good
about.
idea.
And then we have
Hmm.
the suggestions for you. That's your list, and you can wake up in the morning and say, "This is how I want to feel." And we don't go through the day gritting our teeth, and saying, "I'm only going to feel this. I'm only going to feel this." We,
Blessing. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Or someone cuts you off in traffic, and you angrily shake your fist. Blessing. I'm going to bless you with my
In
middle
that
finger.
moment, I'm more like scanning, like, how do I feel? How do I feel?
Right.
See if there's any disturbance. Yeah.
Um, and as you've been saying, if we do feel that, if we're upset, if we're angry, if we're feeling opposite of the intention that we set earlier in the day,
Hmm.
we just make the decision over again. We recognize what
Yeah.
it, as Duff Fishman says, less your triggers.
Yes. They're always helpful.
Yep. So if we're never upset because I see something that I'm not there, and what we see is the past, which we covered, that leads us all the way to lesson 8, right?
My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. And it is. When I don't feel good, 100% of the time, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts.
That's important, when we don't feel good, because we can even take that physically. Without
Hmm.
the comparison of feeling otherwise,
Hmm.
we still wouldn't feel good, but we wouldn't be adding the mental anguish of um, wanting to feel other than we do right now.
Right. Yeah. And all the stories the ego offers us when we don't feel good, that can be interesting to listen in on and set down
But,
about the physical condition.
um, and then lesson 9 builds on that lesson.
Hmm. I see nothing as it is now. So that would be physical sight. Kind of like you start to accept that you're walking around blind. You're walking around seeing some kind of self-defense mask that's actually coming from the past. And you really don't know anything about anything. But you are a pure soul. You're a beautiful soul. You're loved forever. So this guidance is going to come in as you're blind and you have no idea what you're doing. And it's going to guide you because you're loved and it's going to take you home.
Um, I don't remember which lesson it is where it states that anything seen clearly and directly for the purpose that it has would be an awakening tool. That
Yes.
even looking at a tabletop, a pen, someone else, seen clearly of the light that it offers, we could instantly awaken. We could instantly go home if we were able to uh, truly see it.
Yeah, I always say everyone and everything because it has stepped forward to me how present love is everywhere. And I don't want to leave out anything.
Right. So that brings us to lesson 10, right?
Mhm. Let's see, what is that one? It is my thoughts do not mean anything.
So nothing,
There's a
not a
lot
thing.
of peace in that. Because the space that you get to when you're meditating, it's a very spacious place where the thoughts are not intruding. And I find that's the big, beautiful room where guidance has a chance to come in and make itself obvious. So we cultivate that big, beautiful room so guidance can just tell us what to do.
Um, in Zen, specifically uh, Korean schools of Zen, they always talk about the don't know mind. And I
Hmm.
think it was um, uh, who's the modern teacher? Adishanta?
Ad Adyashanti? Why can't we
Adishanti.
remember his name?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe it's Adishanti.
yeah.
Um, he talks about how you may as well start with a I don't know, I don't know mind, because that's where you're going to end
Hmm.
up. So, and the course does that, and the first 10 lessons is just basically turning us back to I don't know, the I don't know mind.
Control Alt Delete. Control Alt Delete. It wipes it clean.
Um, is that still a thing, by the way? Control Alt Delete.
I don't know. I don't feel like I've used it for. I have a Chromebook, so do I even have the keys for that? I
I'm
don't know.
wondering, at this point in time, you think we'd progress to just one button, right?
Yeah.
I would hope so. I wonder if anyone even thought about that. Um, I mentioned that uh, once you get past these 10 lessons, first 10, um,
Hmm.
now things are starting to being added to it. Things were taken away, but now from now to 20, things get cooking a bit, I think.
Hmm.
Um, so my meaningless thoughts, which we covered, my thoughts don't mean anything.
Hmm.
They're showing me a meaningless world.
Yes.
That can still be a hard lesson.
Yeah. The ego wants to invest the world with all sorts of competing meanings and values. And we can feel that anytime we don't feel good, that's what's going on. But then to understand, oh, the meaningless world can be replaced by what really makes sense, like in our heart, what feels like home.
Um, we got another question. Let me say hi to Nino. Nino, how are you? Hey, Chuck. Um, and Seth. Seth Adventures is here. The question is, so you're saying when you give up the meaning of your own thoughts, you are practicing holy hopefulness. You are admitting that the ego's version of the game is an illusion.
Yeah, I made it up. Yeah.
Um, and I might add in that, and this is something that you alluded to earlier, that we aren't giving anything up.
No, it's nothing. Yeah. Everything the ego made, it seems to be a big something with a lot of meaning, but it's actually nothing. Thank goodness. All the violence that happened here, nothing. Thank goodness.
Right. Um,
Yeah.
and I love that thought that we're literally not doing anything. As you said that the ego is never going to understand the course. The ego isn't the one practicing the course. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we are learning just to see, just to see the ego. Um,
It's like a
and
song that helps you remember yourself. You just start to remember yourself and see yourself everywhere.
um, so as soon as we see that our thoughts, that are meaningless, and they're showing us a meaningless world, as soon as we see that, um,
Hmm.
that's that big shift that it's always been there. We didn't make something happen.
Hmm.
We didn't, you know, uh, discover anything. It was always there.
Yeah.
Uh, our friend Seth Adventure says, "I love you, all my friends. We love you too, Seth."
We love you, Seth, and everybody.
Um, so that meaningless world that I've come to realize is getting me pretty upset.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's a funny loop to catch
It
yourself
is,
in reactivity. I catch myself every day.
yeah, and that's lesson 12 is letting us know. It's the reason why I'm upset
Hmm.
because I'm seeing a meaningless world.
Hmm.
Um, and what does a meaningless world do?
Ultimately, nothing. But it seems to mislead me because I look at it and I keep judging it and I keep planning and experiencing my next move based on judging this meaningless world. So I keep extending time, extending suffering. But the miracle comes in and collapses time. So we learn to become miracle minded. We can be facing toward murder, the fact that we're a body and we're going to die and everyone's going to die. Or we can be facing toward miracles, which come in, collapse time, correct everything we see to make it very obvious to us who all of us are, that we've always been innocent, that no one's ever done anything wrong. We've just been on a really intense trip, like a drug trip.
Right, right. Um, and I love, lesson 13 talks about how a meaningless world engenders fear. So, as the Course says at the very beginning in the introduction, the opposite of love, although that which is all encompassing can have no opposite, But the opposite, the seeming opposite of love, is fear. So
Hmm.
my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world, and this is a world of fear.
Yes. And the tricky part is the ego says you can get so much from this world. You can get love from a satisfying configuration of things in this world. You can get, no, you can't. You're already love. Everyone is already love. And so if you're caught up in the loop of, I gotta try to extract this love or this good feeling from the world, well, good luck. It's never going to happen.
Um, Chuck says that I'm giving a meaningless world past meaning, and that is upsetting.
Hmm. Yeah, we think we know what stuff means.
Um, so now we're getting somewhere with lesson 14.
God did not create a meaningless world. Phew!
But that's always my first reaction. Um,
Yeah.
but wait a minute. If the world is meaningless, full of fear, and I'm upset about it, what do you mean God didn't create a meaningless world?
Well, I imagine this one out of guilt, and I refuse to let myself be extracted from it. And now the extraction can begin because I've realized my error and I'm willing to allow to be corrected. So now we can all be carried through and out of our nightmare. And the beautiful, elegant solution is we're going to use your nightmare that you made and we're going to turn it into a happy dream as we carry you and everyone through and out of it. I'm like, yes, okay, I'm getting in the sled. Pull me.
I'm ready. Um,
Yeah.
you know, God did not create a meaningless world. One of those, we often talk about the course being holographic. If you get one thing, you can get the entirety of it.
Hmm.
And that God did not create a meaningless world. Everybody has asked that question. Why did God create a world full of suffering? Why did God create a world full of fear? Um,
Yeah.
where uh, people get sick, people we love die, that there's children starving, not just in other countries, but in our country. Uh,
Yeah.
this is a world of suffering. Um, why did God create, you know, this meaningless world? And, lesson 14 says it didn't happen. God didn't create a meaningless
Hmm.
world. Puts the onus of responsibility where it belongs,
Yes.
as we will.
I did it, but I did nothing because I imagined it. I just pretended. I
Right.
pretended I could leave heaven.
So we are at lesson 15.
My thoughts are images that I have made. It can be interesting to walk through a day and listen to your thoughts and understand the images I see are caused by thoughts that I believe.
Right. One of the really interesting things about this lesson is the description that in paragraph 3, as we go along, you may have many light episodes. Um,
Yeah.
and they might take many forms. Some of them are quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last.
Hmm.
Um, you ever have the light episodes?
I don't know. Um, and I kind of don't like thinking about it because it always leads to judgment. Like some have, some haven't.
Right,
But
right.
I'll tell you what comes to mind when you say that. When I was a teenager, I was watching the minister in church and I saw light around her because my eyes had unfocused, like when you look at one of those posters that's supposed to be 3D and then you'd get into the right unfocused state and you see the image. It was like I saw something, a glow around her, and I thought, how interesting. And then I realized whenever I was in a situation like that and someone was speaking and I would just relax and not focus, I would see that around them. And then years later, I realized, oh, it's not just people, it's objects too. And so I can still see it sometimes. It's not like I try to, but I'm just like, oh yeah, there it is again.
Well,
Is that the light episode? I don't know. I have no idea.
um, I like what you're talking about. If we give up the judgment of what it is, it's a beautiful
Hmm.
experience. Whatever, is it a light episode? Is it not a light episode? It's a beautiful it's a beautiful thing happening.
Hmm.
Um, Chuck had said that if I give past meaning to a world God did not create, I am taking God's throne. Beautifully said, Chuck.
Hmm.
Our friend Praveen says, if the ego never existed, then no error occurred. So what logically,
Right.
so what logical necessity remains for correction? Miracles or the Holy Spirit at all?
Um, I think it's what's necessary to convince me to get out of here. I think like if somebody were able to come to you in the middle of your nightmare and coax you out of it, they might still have to use the language and beliefs of your nightmare, even though it's completely ridiculous. They
Right.
might have to dress up in the costumes of the monsters of your nightmare just to get you to chase you out of it. I don't know. I don't know exactly. But I know that I'm insane to still be here. And so if I'm going to be helped out of my insanity, there needs to be an approach to me that's actually going to work. And so conceptualizing is going to work
Um,
in the idea of guidance, of having relationships, of having experiences. We're still dealing with concepts. When we get guidance, it's still a concept.
right. And as for me, and you and I've talked about this, we talked about it today, that yes,
Hmm.
the ego doesn't exist, and yes, no error occurred, but the logical necessity that remaining for correction is that I still believe that I'm an ego, and I
Yes.
still believe that the error occurred. I still believe that I am separate from God, even though at this point in my practice, I have had the actuality, the experience that error never occurred. I have had the experience of the ego for you know holy instances strung together, where the ego was seen through completely. The ego just didn't exist. It wasn't like even
Hmm.
saying I see through the ego because there was just no ego there. Um, but then in another moment, the ego's back, and I'm thinking, wow, what a wonderful
Hmm.
moment. But hey, the ego's here for right now.
Yeah.
So that's why we have need for the correction, for the miracles, and the Holy Spirit for as long as
Yeah.
we do.
Am I still in time and space? Apparently, I'm still crazy and I still need help. That's okay.
Yep. Yep. Praveen says, thanks, Yogi Sir and ma'am, for the answer.
You're welcome. Thanks
Yep,
for the
you're welcome,
question.
Praveen. Um, so, lesson 16, I have no neutral thoughts.
Oh, let me get to 16. I have no neutral thoughts. That helps us feel the weight of them, the how they're assigning meaning and value. And it kind of helps us start to see the cause and effect of belief and thought and then the experience we have.
So, if my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world, and now if I come to the
Hmm.
realization that I have no neutral thoughts, then
Hmm.
that logically brings us to lesson 17 that says, I see no neutral things.
Cause and effect. Yeah, I see no neutral things.
Um, well, now things are starting to make
This is
some
where you
sense,
realize I need help.
right? Um, and then lesson 18 brings us to I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing.
Yeah,
I,
I'm here with everyone, and like it or not, we all share one mind, even though we're trying to pretend we're all in our separate office cubicles, even though we're trying to pretend we have private thoughts. We don't really. We're always sharing one mind. and there's help for us here.
Um, and that explains why we're all living in a world um, where we're experiencing the same suffering.
Hmm.
Um, and as you were saying, there's good news here. Is that means that we will also experience the same awakening.
Yes, it's all of us or none of us.
Well,
If
I'm
we're
ready for
all
that.
one doesn't escape without the others. Yeah.
Yep, I'm ready for that. So, hey, Julie, on behalf of everyone, could you hurry up with the awakening, please?
I'm working on it. Are you guys working on
I'm putting all my hopes on you,
it?
Julie.
It should work out either way.
It'll work out. It'll work out.
It's
Um,
inevitable.
so the reason why we are experiencing, I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts, brings us to lesson 19. Or the
Yep.
reason why I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing, brings us to lesson 19.
Hmm. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts.
It all goes back to thought, doesn't it?
It, yeah, it can feel weighty, but just to know that there is a whole set of sane, rational thoughts that just come to you like gifts and blessings, and that you don't have to keep track of or hold on to or mold or shape in any way. They're just gifts that guide you and everyone. And okay, so there's a different way of thinking, there's a different way of seeing, there's a different way of experiencing. And I can just keep inviting that in.
Um, lesson 20. I think lesson 20
What
changes
is
everything.
20? Oh, that's today. I'm
Yep.
determined to see.
Um, so what am I determined to see?
I'm determined to see things as they are. I'm determined to see past the defense I've built up with everything I'm seeing in time and space, whatever positive or negative meaning the ego is trying to give it. I am determined to be reunited with my Father, with God, with what I am, with the light, with love, however you need to put it to yourself, and to not delay it anymore because I'm not in trouble and I didn't do anything wrong. So let's get reunited. We are
Um,
united, but let me fully recognize that we've always been united.
it's a beautiful answer. Um, we did it. 20 lessons.
20 lessons. Those are a good 20.
Yeah. Um, so without leaping ahead, what um what do we have to look forward to coming up here? I'd like lesson 20 uh, sort of steers us in the direction of um, that, so we've stripped away a whole lot of stuff, but we're going to tell you, now we're going to start giving you the experience of what is there, what's truly present, what you can
Hmm.
actually, the reality that's here that you can now start to see, as long as you're determined to see it.
Yeah. Now it's almost like the mama cat has me by the scruff of the neck. When I said I'm determined to see, I said I'm willing. So the mama cat picked me up, and now I'm going to get carried through and out of the nightmare.
Um, I think in 9 more days, um, that speaking of cats, that the cat is let out of the bag. I don't know why anyone had the cat in the bag to begin with,
Ooh.
but uh,
Yeah. They probably went they're in the bag themselves. They love a good bag.
they do. They love bags. They love boxes.
So what lesson am I going to here?
Lesson 29.
29. Okay. Almost there. And we end up with, oh, God is in everything I see. Yes. What a relief.
Yeah,
There's some reality there. Yes.
exactly. Now we've come to reality that
Hmm.
those 28 lessons um, are showing us that we are not seeing reality,
Hmm.
that we are seeing the effects of the thoughts that we have been thinking with the ego, which is not, we can't even say it's false. It just doesn't exist. It's just not there.
Hmm.
So it's showing us a world that doesn't have meaning because an illusion can't have meaning. Because when you see through the illusion, there's nothing there to have any meaning, you know?
So now we're no more Halloween costumes. We can just be here with what is.
We can just be here. Um,
Yeah.
and now from 29 on to the next 50, more and more clues are being dropped that, the reason that God is in everything because God is in my mind. So
Hmm.
it leads us full circle back to those thoughts that we can literally think the thoughts of God,
Hmm.
and
And
we
then
are,
getting you in touch with your true power. Lesson 37, my holiness blesses the world. It's not arrogant to say you're holy. It's the truth of everyone and everything. It's just the very simple, basic, foundational truth of your being. You're holy.
right?
And your holiness is a blessing. And then you can let it loose.
Um, and my holiness blesses the world. I always love that. Um, I would always use it as a little bit of a, you know, excuse. If someone would say, "So you're just gonna sit there on the couch all day?" I'm like, "No, my holiness is blessing the world. This is a full time
That's
gig.
right.
I'm calling in sick. I'm not
24/7.
going to work. I'm not going to work today. Got to stay home. My holiness is blessing the world. Again, it's a full time
I
gig.
have something better to do.
I wonder. I wonder if a boss would buy that excuse. Sorry, I got something better to do. I'm blessing the world today. As I'm self-employed, I don't think it would work.
What would your boss say?
Now I'm being self-employed. My boss would say, "Well, good for you. Finally, you finally
Yeah,
accepted
there you
your."
go.
Um, and let's
Your
just very
function.
quickly we'll skim through the rest of these 50 without going into detail because we'll save that for the next time we get together.
Hmm.
What
My
leaps out
holiness
for you?
is my salvation. I like my
Um,
holiness is my salvation because you have to recognize there is a problem. There is a problem here, and we do need to be saved from it. So let's not pretend that there isn't a problem. And so, salvation, the idea of salvation is appropriate. You need someone to take you by the hand and pull you out of this madness.
yeah.
Hmm.
Lesson 46 and 47 are two that I turn to quite often. Um, as lesson 46, God is a love in which I forgive, because
Oh,
for
that's
me, it's a
beautiful.
great reminder. This is how I forgive.
Hmm.
I see the presence of love everywhere, no
Hmm.
exceptions, everywhere. Um, and God is the strength in which I trust is very important to me because I'm still going through trust lessons.
Hmm.
Um, so knowing that ultimately all of my trust comes down to laying it at the feet of God, putting it in the hands of God, that
Yeah.
God is the strength in which I trust. I'm not trusting my ego to bring me something. I'm not trusting a version of God that I made up that is a great vending machine that if I dial it in right with the right prayer, I'm going to get what I want in return. That I just say I
Hmm.
trust. I trust.
And it's funny that sometimes good things in life happening can bring up your lack of trust because I had a sudden spike in my YouTube views, and that brought up all kinds of future thoughts of, well, then maybe I'd get even more. And the ego always wants more of anything, you
Right.
know? Maybe this could get bigger, maybe I could have more. And it really brought to my attention, I need to trust in the strength of God and nothing else because these thoughts are nonsense.
Um, Very much the same with me. You know that of YouTube. Funny um, that you mentioned that because
Hmm.
I hit um, uh, 9,000 subscribers the other day. I
Hmm.
had 9,004, and I got a lot of congratulations, and I felt very good.
Oh,
I felt very proud of
yeah.
myself until I woke up this morning and I had 8,997. Um,
Oh, I love it when you when that happens. I
um,
have given everything I see all the meaning it
I
has
have
for
given,
me.
yes. So the question is, do I have to return all those congratulations that people gave me? Do I have to knock on
No.
everyone's door and say, sorry? Um, but as I bring it up, I regained one. So I'm at 8,998.
I love it.
Um, the word that always comes into play when we talk about the ego is insidious. There's
Yeah.
always a little crack. There's a back door.
Oh,
There's,
it just tiptoes. Yeah.
yep. Hey, Anna. Anna, how are you? And YouTube, because social media, because it's based on clicks,
Hmm.
on views and subscribers, is
Right.
a wonderful place to see um, where it's going to come into play.
Yeah, it makes it very clear. You open up that YouTube studio, what's the number?
Right. Um, and, or we put up a Facebook post and, you know,
Hmm.
6 likes. What's the deal with 6 likes? This at least deserves 7 likes. Hey, Mr. Osgood.
Right? Or sometimes you get none. Sometimes you get zero. How dare they?
Right. Um, but it's all good. As you said, as we were talking about, um, God is the strength in which I trust. If I truly, truly have
Hmm.
um, put my trust in the strength of God, then 8,997 or 98 is as good as 9,004. That what how things are playing out is exactly how things are playing out. If there's something for me to do, um, I will be given that directive. As long as I
Hmm.
trust, as long as I open, as long as I listen.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Um, our friend Anna, who's in the chat, she is one of the people that is practicing in the morning with us.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you can hear me, but you're breaking up for me. And I don't, it might be my internet. When this happens, I usually have to restart the call. I don't know if I can leave and come back or how does that work?
You can leave and come back
Can I just use
uh,
the link?
anytime. I'll just let you back in. So we're going to wrap things up in just a minute. So why don't you back out and I'll let you back in and then we can say goodbye.
I wish I understood what you were saying. Maybe somebody in the chat could tell me.
I'm going to type it.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Thanks, everybody.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us. How's that?
Okay. Oh, it's perfect.
Good. Um, and I was saying that, go ahead and back out, and then come back in, and then we'll wrap things up.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Um, this has been a wonderful 90 minutes with you.
Yeah. Went
Uh,
fast.
we had some great questions, and
Hmm.
you provided some truly, truly um, beautiful and loving answers to those questions. Um, our friend Sissy Soulstars says she is such an angel.
Thanks, everybody.
Uh, I want to urge everyone to make sure, speaking of subscribers, make sure that you are subscribed to Julie. She's given right now a beautiful presentation of the lessons, and I'm amazed at uh, the combination of depth and beauty that you bring to it. Truly feels um, like channeled from the highest source. The
Well,
videos that
thank
you
you.
make and how you express it. Uh, each one is really a meditation. So I hope I hope the next time that uh, we talk that you have 8,997. And note that I gave you one less subscriber than I have because the
I love it. When you said that number, I have to admit I felt fear because I felt like that would be too much. I'm scared. So I'm just exposing it so Spirit can clean that up for me. I
um
think it feels safe when you have a small number.
it does. Here's an interesting thing. Vicky Poppy, who has
Hmm.
become such a loving presence in my life. Um, she's mentioned in your Immortal Reality, Gary Renard's second book,
Oh, uh-huh.
and he was talking about being really uncomfortable giving talks, and
Hmm.
he was brought into public speaking by Vicky, who had a group students. There was about 10 of them,
Hmm.
and she said, "Why don't you come along? You don't have to speak if you don't want to. Just come along and hang out with us." And they were having lunch, and Vicky introduced Gary and said, "Gary has a wonderful story if you'd like to share it." And he felt very comfortable, and he shared it. And then Vicky said, if you can share your message and your story with 10 people, you can do it to 100. What's the
Oh,
difference
yeah.
between 10 people and 100 people? So, Julie, you have a wonderful and beautiful way of presenting um, a message that is um, larger than both of us, but you and I are both part of it.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't matter if you have 500 subscribers or 9,996. My ego's not yet ready to give you one more than me, um, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Let's say 10,000. It doesn't matter if you have 100 subscribers or 10,000. The beauty of your message and what you offer, um, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I like to think about our minds are connected. So it doesn't even matter. Let's say nobody heard it. The state of mind I was in when I received the message, and I myself go back and listen to it because it's for me, just that I can see that does its own work because we all share one mind. But if others want to listen, go for it. If YouTube ever wanted to give me money for it, I would not fight them.
Um, and we were talking about trust, and I was talking about my lessons with trust, and that's where it
Hmm.
is that having basically declared that I'm full time in the YouTube business, that this is now my vocation,
That's
and
beautiful.
not only that, I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love having
Yeah.
conversations with you, with the guest, um, and as I was told by Lisa Natoli.
Hmm.
She asked me after she came up if I could make some uh, videos, some shorts, and some smaller videos of our conversation. And I
Oh,
immediately said,
nice.
"Sorry, no,"
Oh,
because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, I just learned how to make shorts. It's not hard.
It isn't hard, but and
Yeah.
that's what as I thought about that, um, I had an intuition that said, "Do you not know how to do it, or have you just never tried?"
Huh.
And the truth was, I had never tried. And when I
Yeah.
tried, I surprised myself. Huh, I do know how to do it. And I did it. And what Lisa said was, um, you only accepted part of uh, your purpose.
Mm.
Talking to guests and bringing it up, and asking the questions and listening to the answer. That's an important part of it. But not everyone is going to watch an hour and a half live stream,
Yes.
and not everyone's going to rewatch it.
Right.
But if you make these shorts, these smaller videos, and you put them out there, the person who needs to hear that, they're going to find it. It's going to come to them.
That is
That
beautiful.
it was that someone is going to be lonely. Someone is
Hmm.
going to have the hand on a bottle and contemplating taking their first drink in however many months, days, or years. Um,
Hmm.
Someone is going to be afraid. Someone is going to need something, and there's going to be a guest who's going to say just the right thing to just the right person, and they'll find that. It's not up to me to say who's going to find it and when they're going to find it. Um,
Hmm.
it's just to put it out there and um, allow the Holy Spirit to do its work. And Julie, you were doing that every single one of your videos, um, and then you can you make a video and it has so much wisdom. You could do a minute or a 30-second short in many of those videos.
It's so funny that you said that. I feel so happy that you said it because I heard your guidance before you told me. I just started making shorts and they're 60-second shorts and I got the general guidelines, just do a couple per video for now and we'll see.
Right. Um,
So amazing.
and the person who needs to hear that, um, the bite size, the
Hmm.
just enough to make me feel like I'm not alone. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
it's going to come from what you've done. And the reason why is because what you've done isn't coming from Julie. It is coming from the Holy Spirit. It's coming from that place of love that we all share. And as you
Yeah,
said,
it
that
definitely isn't. Or I wouldn't be able to listen to them over and over. It would be weird.
right,
Yeah.
right. Um, and as you said, that one mind. Now we trust
Hmm.
from the seeming appearance of one mind of my one mind to the seeming appearance of your one mind. It's all just one mind, and um, we're going to find each other.
Yeah. That's
So
beautiful.
I'm really happy to be doing this with you.
Me too.
Um,
Walking home together.
Walking home together, and what comes to mind is mighty companions.
Yes,
So, Julie, thank you for being
definitely.
thank you for being one of my mighty companions.
Thank you, Yogi. This is a beautiful place you have here. Very inspiring.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Um,
everybody.
and we will. I will see you before next month. But we will
Yes.
all see you next month, unless in the next upcoming couple weeks, Deanna is feeling well enough, and
Yeah, I'll
we
let
want to
you
do something.
know if I hear from her. And yeah, I would love to
Okay,
do another live with her.
awesome. Uh, Love you, my friend.
Love you too. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Thank you, guys. I will see you all at 5:25. We have a guest this evening. It is Cynthia Orlando. She will be up,
All
and
right.
do you know Cynthia?
I don't think I do, but maybe I can tune in while I'm making dinner.
Oh, I hope so. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye,
See
guys.
everybody.